Welcome ladies and gentlemen to a casted game of Age of Empires 4, and today we are still on the public update preview, taking a sneak peek at what's in store for us in Season 4 for Age of Empires 4. And today in the northeast corner of the map in orange, playing as the Ottomans, we've got 3DB, and he's going to be going up against Anotand, playing in the southwest corner of the map in blue as the Mongols. Welcome ladies and gentlemen to the pit. An interesting matchup, an interesting map, and as we see, the Ottomans have collected their 50 stone to get that instant military school and also a barracks, because we're expecting a Mongol outpost rush, and that can often be the case here, and that's exactly what's happening here. Anotand playing in blue, going for the early barracks, getting a couple of spears out early soon. There we are. Popping out double produced from the Uvu. Going up against the Ottomans with their free spears that come out from the military school. Also producing from the barracks as well. This is really interesting because the Mongols are often very aggressive, and it just does feel a little bit awkward for the Mongols now, because I suspect Anotand's going to be trying to be aggressive, as you can see, going forward with the Khan as well. And he's going to try and put some pressure, but what is probably worth noting is that the Ottomans can really hold their own, especially the fact that they get free units. It does take a minute to train a spearman, so it's not the quickest thing in the world, especially, you know, when you compare to only taking 15 seconds to train one. But these are free units. This isn't actually not costing B any resources, not costing any food, any wood anymore. It's constantly producing, and the issue for Anotand is that he's going to be facing up against defender's advantage. And what I mean by that is the fact that the units are coming out are going to be joining the fight with 3DB a lot quicker. You know, Anotand would have to walk across the map to join the fight with the new spearmen that are being produced, as the Khan starts to fire on that villager. Looks like Anotand trying to get some early damage out. And hopefully, well, for him anyway, looking to take out a villager. Does get a few hits on this villager. 3DB have to be careful, does pull that back. It is 3v3 in terms of spearmen. A lot of early aggression here, and the charge coming forward. Oh, 3v2 there for a good few seconds, and Anotand just mismicroed that a little bit. Looks like this fight and this match is going to come down to a lot about micro, and we talk about defender's advantage, because I suspect units will be coming out. Yep, another one from the military school there for 3DB, and we've seen something very similar in the Red Bull Walhalla Legacy tournament, where the Ottomans being so aggressive, or being able to be so aggressive. As we see, two more spearmen heading in with the Khan getting involved as well. A lot of poking and prodding. Looks like Anotand should win this fight. We will see though. Especially with the Khan behind, this is certainly useful for the Mongols. But as we were saying, in Red Bull Walhalla Legacy, it can be the case that things can snowball quite hard. If the Ottomans can push this back, they can actually then push the Ovu and be a bit more aggressive themselves. But this is what will come down to in terms of defender's advantage. If it was the other way around for the Mongols defending, it would be possibly a different story. As we see, a lot of the weak spearmen there for 3DB is going to charge in, 3 versus 5. The fourth one does add into the mix for the Mongols, but a lot of them are weak there for the Ottomans, so you have to be careful here, 3DB. Might lose a villager here, a villager on the retreat. I think the spearman might commit to that. Actually, no, heads away. Oh, this villager might go down, especially with the pathing around the mining camp. I think Anotand commits to this, and that is the first villager to go down. Does lose the spearman, and might lose a lot more with the arrow fire coming from the TC, and yeah, a lot of damage coming out there. In fact, Anotand might lose everything, and well, I'm not sure if that's worth it. It might sound like it's worth it. I mean, certainly in the mid to long term it is. You know, losing a villager does mean it's 40 resources per minute lost throughout the whole game now. But the big difference is that, well, Anotand paid a lot in terms of the short term price of those spearmen, and now this is what we talked about earlier. The Ottomans can now start to push, and this Ovu cannot be packed up and moved, unlike the barracks and the Gur. So that's the problem. You know, these spearmen, 9 of them, are heading straight forward now towards this Ovu. And I suspect what B will do is just push this barracks away, start torching this down, and force the barracks to move out of the way of the Ovu influence. And so, well, Anotand won't be able to double produce. In fact, he can't anyway. Can't afford it on the food, because he's going up to the next stage with Silver Tree, which is pretty surprising. Looking to maybe do some trading on the pit, which is not something unheard of, but against the Ottomans, it looks like 3DB looking to be very aggressive, as he now starts to try and torch down the barracks, as we said. I think Anotand's going to have to move this barracks sooner rather than later, and that will stop production for a little bit. A couple of seconds of the production will be halted, although so Anotand is kind of eyeing up moving those spears. Doesn't have enough though, you feel. Isn't able to double produce anyway at this point. And yeah, the barracks is now being moved out of the influence of the Ovu, so he won't be able to double produce even if he wanted to. And I suspect 3DB might just torch this down. Now we heard that little cog there, Vizier points. And there's actually going to be 2 scholars coming out here, 2 imams for the Ottomans. And this is key, because this is where things can be really quite helpful for the Ottomans. All of these weak spearmen are about to be healed. And, Mongols are, for a very long time, known to be an incredibly strong Dark Age civilization with the spearman rush into towers. But the Ottomans looking really strong here, especially with the free units. You know, this whole time, the military school has been producing spearmen. And Well, 3DB is going to go up to the next stage as well, himself, with 7 villagers on the twin minaret madrasa, guaranteeing that food income. The Ovu is now down and out. And well, Anotand might be looking to push this even further, especially because now he's got the 2 imams healing up those units. And that is huge. We'll see Anotand though, looking to pull down an archery range to try and fight this off. But the aggression is really kicking on, and well, the Mongols can't take advantage of the Ovu double production. That's a key bonus that they get, and this is what the Ottomans' aggression can do, can really put the Mongols out of their game and make them sacrifice some bonuses that they'd be accustomed to, because of course, you know, Anotand could reinvest the wood into an Ovu here on the stone mine, but it's so far out that 3DB could start to pressure that area again, and the production buildings would be super out of the fight as well. Silver Tree packing up and moving. I'm not sure how much trade Anotand's going to get out of this. Good number of spearmen though, 7 of them against 13. The scout is involved for 3DB, giving that extra vision. And with now 3DB in the next stage, it looks like it's going to be toggling on to getting a meta, which will be increasing the military attack speed of those units. And he's also going on stone, looking to maybe get that second military score, as we see a big push here in the middle. Spearman engaging against the Spearman, 2 imams on the back as well, and this is just to find that 3DB wins, especially with the upgrade that they've got. Hardened Spearman is in for both players though, and the 2 imams healing up the weakened units, and this is an issue for the Mongols. Doesn't really have much of a case to fight this. Does have a couple of archers, 3 of them. They'll be doing decent damage, but you feel like it's not quite enough, and I think Anotand will be maybe regretting this fight. I think 3DB is quite happy to take this fight, because if you can whittle down the numbers of spears, well, that will allow the Sipahi to come in forward for the Ottomans. And I suspect we'll see the Sipahi. I won't just check just yet, because we are in a big fight here, but the imams are heading back. The imams getting so much value, and these units are healing themselves up, as we see another spearman joining into the fight, and we'll lose another one potentially, or keeps it alive, but you see he's tanking away so much of the damage, and spearmen are rushing in. I think this might be the time that 3DB may have to cut back his losses. Still, you know, he takes another archer down, so great usage of those units. Spearmen are now heading back. A couple of weak ones, but he's still healing quite nicely. Oh, might lose another one there. Does lose another one on the retreat, but let's take a look what the military schools are up to now. Meta still queued up here. Hasn't popped out. Not just quite enough stone for another. I just got one now. Enough stone for the military school, the second one of them. We've got a blacksmith as well, quite early, looking to influence these production buildings. So the Ottomans, you know, the blacksmith actually increases the production speed of these buildings by 25%. And 33% and 40% depending on what age you're in. So that's pretty impressive. These units will be popping out very quickly for the Ottomans. And this is what we talk about, how the Ottomans are very strong in the early game. We've got the free units as well as the increased production speed. Now it looks like Anotand opting for a second town centre. Got so many villages on wood. 800 in the bank, 900. And I suspect he'll be dropping a second town centre, which is interesting because, you know, the Mongols here are being pushed so hard that actually the only way for Anotand to really counter this, he can't. It seems like he feels like he can't really match pound for pound in terms of aggression, so he's going to try and boom it out and try and counter the aggression if he can, and try and get a massive economy rolling. We shall see if 3DB can pressurize this though and punish this, and I suspect he'll have a decent job and stab at it, because he's getting another 2 production buildings, double stable, another 2 archery ranges as well. Yeah, the units are really going to start to pop out. The military school are toggled onto Sipahi, so those guys are going to be coming out very soon. Certainly full feudal aggression it seems here for 3DB, and it does take a while for that second town centre to pay off. It's rather expensive. We shall see. You know, it's 900 wood. That's a lot of resources going into that. And it'll take some time for Anotand to really build up the eco to pump into units. It's really important that he gets the military units up and running, because he's only got 5 units compared to 17, and that gap will start to enlarge, especially when you counter the, or you think about how many military schools he's got. It's 2 so far. Might be able to get a 3rd one soon. There is a vizier point that can unlock another military school, but we shall see. What he opts to do. There's that vizier point activated now. Will it be the military school? We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, the villagers coming off of stone, which suggests that they may be dropping another military school soon. A 3rd one. We'll have to see. It's not quite no confirmation on that just yet. Doesn't quite have the wood for it just yet. But I think we'll see a 3rd military school, as we now see pastures coming out for Anotand, which is less than ideal. Oh, Anotand going here in the north corner of the map for the Silver Tree. Doesn't seem safe at this point to get that trade up and running. Blacksmith coming out for upgrades. Almost about to get the wood he needs for that military school. He's actually got enough just about now, 150 wood. But not placing it just yet. In any case, the army is heading up on the west side of the map now with 3DB, but 33 to 6, and I think Anotand's going to struggle here. He's going to need some static defenses at the very least. The army just circling around. 3DB just checking out if there's any trade going on, and gets the confirmation that there isn't. Looks like Sabai still adding to the fight. No meta just yet. Oh, I take that back. They are glowing. Yeah, there is a meta there, actually. In and amongst that. Bit hard to see, but he is there, drumming away. As they ride through the stealth forest. And he is actually on ranged... Oh, no. Wait. Yeah, okay. He's on attack drums, which means the attack speed is increased by 15%. And he's pumping out units here. BDB is not holding back. I'm just surprised not to see him get another military school. I don't believe he's got a third one yet. He could afford it. I'm not sure if he maybe... I mean, you can see it's actually able to build that, I think. So, might be a bit of a miss-click there or miss something for B, which is uncharacteristic. Not sure what he spent that vizier point on. In any case, it looks like it's very aggressive here for B. 44 military versus 12, and Anotand's going to have a tough time with this, I think. He's going to scout this out now. I don't think Anotand can actually see this. It's part of the problem. We can see it now. Yeah, you can see that there's trouble coming in. Looks like 3DB is getting some upgrades, getting siege engineering, and this is actually a really quick tech to research nowadays in the current patch. Only 10 seconds away. And then it looks like 3DB will be heading in with some rams. Does need a bit more wood for it, though. Doesn't quite have the wood he needs. Also having to build those houses. As you can see, the military lead here, 51 to 16, is absolutely huge. Mongols are booming away on 2 town centers. Has 10 extra villages, but you know, just take some time for that to really count. I mean, if you could choose between 10 extra villages versus almost, you know, 30, 40 extra military, you got to take the 40 extra military, because I think 3DB is going to be a bit more aggressive soon. Still doesn't quite yet have enough wood for a ram, but it's producing archers as well, and just idling the archery ranges for a couple of seconds will do it for the rams. Looks like static defense is coming out. Anotand is getting ready for a big push. We shall see if it's enough. He does have quite a few, well, two villagers building the outpost, not a lot. He's got another outpost coming up in the north corner of this central town centre. It's got 2 town centres as well, so that will actually take a lot of the threat away in terms of firing out arrows and garrisonable spaces, but rams are coming out, and I think 3DB smells blood. He's going for the upgrades as well, the blacksmith upgrades too, to really help his push. He's got iron undermesh already. He's getting the melee upgrade as well, the melee armor upgrade. Oh, another vizier point is now looking to be spent. There's that third military school. It has been put down, toggled onto spearmen. That's just the default, really. Our rams are starting to push in. 2 of them has got, I think, 1 or 2 metas there. Just the 1 so far. And I think if you're Anotand, you've got to focus down the meta and the imams. If you can focus down that, that takes a lot of the potency away. It doesn't seem to be doing it just yet. It's quite hard to click them, to be fair, as now the second town center to be built is being focused down by the rams and the melee units. Looks like Anotand is going to be losing this town center very quickly. It is on fire. B is pressurizing heavily. Does it just have to pop out? And that's a problem, because now there's a lot of eco that's being idled. 37 idle economy. They're all idled in the town center and the outpost. Sabai tanking a lot of the damage. Sabai diving in, looking to focus on the archers. Rams heading in towards those outposts as well. The archers focusing on any units that pop out of the production buildings, and everything's so condensed here. And this is a strong push. Look at the units trickling in forward for the Ottomans. It looks like the Ottomans might be winning this game, because it's 50 military to 12. 3DB is pushing hard. Anotand trying to hold on for as long as he can. There are 4 or 5 outposts though, that's certainly helpful. Villagers coming forward as well, but they're going to be taken down. I suspect Anotand does have textiles, which will certainly be useful, but it just looks like the meta just going down only now, and looks like the imams are still there helping out. Another meta comes into the fight as well. Perfect timing there for the meta for 3DB, as another outpost is on fire. That's going to go down. 5 extra villagers will be ungarrisoned and taken down. The rams are down and out. Villagers have done well, but that's not enough, because Anotand taps out, and well, we, ladies and gentlemen, might have a new Dark Age King for Age of Empires 4.